Hey everybody, this is Doing Lines. This is the sports betting podcast where we bet on all of the not sports and some of the little sports side of sports with a slant towards competitive athletics. I'm your host, Kyle Ayers, joined as always by my co-host, Austin Huff.
You know, not to be confused with the podcast, the sports betting podcast that focuses on the mostly sports side of some of the sports with a lot of the sports mixed in with the competitive athletics.
We just don't want people to get confused. That's the thing
Right.
that we don't want to happen. We want to make sure it's a clear-cut thing. That's why we named our podcast after drugs, and it has nothing to do with the tagline.
There's so many fake sports betting podcasts out there. We really did not want to be confused with any of the others.
This is a big debut for me as well. I have new glasses.
I was gonna say I
And-
didn't want to say anything.
It's a big day.
But you look like to describe them to our audio only audience. Kyle's glasses look like the glasses that Robin Williams wore in the first half of Hook before he became Peter Pan.
Yeah, everyone understands. The reference everyone understands. To me, now that I actually see myself, I feel like I look like a teacher that lost tenure for speaking out.
You definitely are giving
like,
off vibes
tweets.
you definitely are giving off vibes of you helped organize a student protest in the
Right.
cafeteria.
And then I take the bullet for the kids at the end of the movie. If my hair was just way too long, I think it would fit perfect. I'm giving off like the professor who wants to ban dodgeball.
Yeah. Either that or you're the guy who works on Wall Street who's trying to go undercover to with the FBI, and you're not fitting in very
what's up,
well.
fellow Wall Street guys? What's everyone's social security number? Just a fun thing is happening where this nerve thing is deteriorating one of my eyes. I don't know if you've been to an eye doctor recently, but they do such crazy scans now with these things. They sent me it looks like a Pink Floyd album cover, and they're like, here's your eye, and here's where it's deteriorating, and here's where you can see a pattern of blindness that could potentially go. Anyways, how's your Tuesday?
I get super nervous whenever I'm asked to see which one is less blurry, because there's a right and wrong answer.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get that one wrong.
I did so many tests. They were like, when's the last time you took an eye test? And I was like, I don't know, probably to go to kindergarten.
Yeah. When you were working at the Genius Bar with Apple.
Not even there. They make you wear glasses to work there. I
was just referring to an eye test.
I reached for a soundboard I don't have.
I'm so glad you don't have it this week.
Oh man, they're just. I think the last time I took an eye test, I cheated by looking at the board while waiting to go.
But you couldn't read it, so it's
Right. I'm pretty sure those are letters, and they're like, yeah, he's good. If you've ever been in California, you know they don't, just based on traffic and how cars work, they don't make you take an eye test clearly to drive or unclearly, depending on how you did on the test.
No, they let anyone with
Anyways,
a car.
big drop for me. Big week. We're in week 16, which,
That's nuts.
for most of the history of the NFL, the season would be pretty much over. But not this NFL.
I kind of wish it was as a Titans fan.
We didn't have a show last week. We don't have to get too much into that. Everyone gets a bye week, and that's okay.
Right.
But I do want to let you know, if you're first time listening, basically we come up with some fake bets, and basically bettable things that Vegas would never touch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Vegas, finding something they won't touch in Vegas is wild. How wet it has to be, or not wet enough.
Yeah. These are some fake bets. Keep in mind, they're not sticky, but they are fake.
Right, and amongst fake things in Vegas, these are some of the smaller. These would be our bets would be Vegas's Eiffel Tower. Sure, there's a better one out there somewhere, but this is the one you can afford to see. So that's where you're.
And honestly, considering our podcast is named Doing Lines, I'm sure we have a lot of Vegas residents tuning in this week. So thank you for remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yeah, I did have a bet lined out for last week that we didn't get to do, because we ended up taking that bye. I had a few, but I don't want to get. But the one I really wanted to get into was last week. The Rams played the Commanders, and Commanders and Rams. That's actually the only matchup where one of the team's names contains the other team's name.
Yeah. That's true.
So the Commanders, Commanders is an anagram for Rams Cod Men. And
we were all thinking it.
Cod is a fish. Who are the Rams? Cod Men? Well, puka and cup both sound like types of fish, if you ask me.
That's true. That's true.
So the Rams Cod Men versus the Commanders was my bet last week. Who has more touchdowns, Puka and Cup, which I consider the Rams Cod Men, or the Commanders team as a whole? That was going to be my bet. I guess I should have looked up what happened.
While you're looking that up, I had a couple of bets last week. One was, does Geno Smith play? Which, honestly, we did not have our answer until about 45 minutes before kickoff of Monday night's game. So that bet would have led us up to just practically kickoff of that game.
Yeah.
And then I had another bet, which I'm actually kind of glad we didn't get to last week. So I had a bet where Bills versus Cowboys. The Cowboys gave the Bills 2 of their rings in Super Bowls. And I also have a Ring doorbell that I have to install. And so the bet was going to be, do I install my Ring doorbell
The bet was,
before
does
kickoff
Austin
of that game?
do a task?
Yes. I wasn't going to be allowed to bet on it, but it was, and I'm so glad we didn't get to it because I didn't install the doorbell. It's
absolutely
there's a gaping hole in right next to my door frame that I need
gaping
to
hole doing
cover.
lines. Our SEO is going to be perfect for Vegas residents this week.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
So yeah,
we're probably getting a lot of first-time listeners this week because of our guest, Kenny Braasch from The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
He's a massive sports fan and a really, really cool dude. So I'm sure we're getting a lot of first-time. We're probably getting some Bachelor Nation listeners this week that know nothing nor care anything about sports. Let me tell you, if that is you, this is the perfect podcast for you.
Yeah, for sure. I wish we had more. We took that bye week last week, so it's tough to really recap into things. I will let people know we have a running scoreboard of our guests throughout all of time. And so currently, you want to give people a recap of where the fans or the guest scoreboard's at?
Yes. Yeah. Let me pull that.
And then I'll let them know that Austin and I are also going against one another, adding up our total weeks for all of history throughout this entire season, forever, the history of man, the past 16 weeks. Current score: Kyle is at $1,750. Austin is at even $1,000, which is good for you. That's the highest you've been since we started at exactly 1,000.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm coming back. Don't let me get hot, is what they say.
Don't let me get hot, or me might not like me.
Our current leader right now is Pat Tomasulo because he took out that $999 bet with and then the other bets were just 25 cents each. Honestly, the first time we've ever had someone like that. $1,998.75. Jamel Johnson is in second with $1,500. Comedian Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network and Good Morning Football, $1,302, just narrowly edging out Chicago's own Lawrence Holmes.
Wow, narrowly edging. Add that to the SEO that Vegas will be looking up for us.
And then Benedict Polizzi, our only other. I'm wondering if Kenny will be able to beat out Benedict Polizzi because Benedict, obviously on F-Boy Island, comedian based out of Indianapolis. You probably know him from his podcast with Joey Molinaro. He is extremely hilarious. You can go back and listen to that episode if you want to. $1,100. Can Kenny beat out Benedict to become our reality TV show guest?
Right. We'll hand him a rose, but it'll be ROWS, just where he's allowed to sit at a game.
Folks.
I have a rich history with Bachelor Nation as well. If you go back and look at Ryan McDill from famed Blue Springs High School, who was kicked off of The Bachelorette in the first episode for
first episode,
blacking out and yelling a horrible joke and jumping in a fountain. What a time that was to be a Blue Springs High School alum. And I was like, that's crazy, because I remember Ryan used to be such a nice guy. I remember when I was in-school detention with him, and he spit tobacco on the floor. You go way back.
Right.
It was a great television moment watching him. They're saying you're kicked off the show, and he's saying no, and he won't leave a fountain.
Honestly, but isn't Kansas City the city of fountains?
That's true. It's true. That's
second
a good point.
most to Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's some people always go there looking for fountain.
And another tie-in, Kyle and I did improv with Lauren Zima, who is now married to Chris Harrison from Bachelor World. So honestly, is this whole podcast just been a Bachelor Nation podcast?
I don't know. It's such a Bachelor-centric podcast. I want to cook all my food on a hot plate in a corner.
And I just want to drink wine.
And I mean, until recently, maybe the most eligible Bachelor in the league was on my team. And now it's a very uneligible unbachelor. I don't know what has happened to, because now we're just going to wait for it. I don't know what has happened. I don't follow Taylor Swift as closely as maybe you do. I don't know what has happened in her previous dating life to where I now see things in my TikTok feed or Instagram where her fans are like, oh my God, Travis Kelce said hi to her. This is the greatest boyfriend she's ever had. And I'm like, what happened? What happened?
It honestly, the bar was set so low that it really truly was.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be the name of her next song.
I think I saw one today that was like, Travis Kelce said on his podcast, she's nice. This is the one. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, we got to get to our guest. We're taking too long with all this. We got a wonderful guest, and let's get into it. We're going to give him $1,000. He's got a bet across I got insane ones this week.
I've got some fun ones as well.
And we're going to have a good time. So let's get over to him.
Let's get to Kenny Braasch. We are joined now by a guy who him and I are on the same cycle. And by that, I mean haircutting cycle. Because every time I get my haircut here in Chicago, I run into him. And it's honestly, I haven't gotten my haircut without running into him on my way out the door. It is so great. You know him from the 16th season of The Bachelorette, 7th season of Bachelor in Paradise, where he met his lovely now wife, Mari, which is, true love, honestly. And he's also the manager of probably my favorite boy band, the Boy Band Night here in Chicago. Yeah. You need to check them out if you're in the Chicagoland area. He is Kenny Braasch. Kenny, how are you, man?
What's up, fellas? I'm good.
When was your last haircut? Can I ask that? Can we start there?
What an insane intro.
Yeah, good, very good. I was there. I was there last week, actually, and you weren't there. I was
okay. What? I had a haircut scheduled. I legitimately had one scheduled last week, and I had to cancel it last minute. I was kind of bummed about it.
Now every time I walk in, I expect to see you in there, and it's disappointing.
It was to the point where it was like, does one of us work here? Kenny, how is married life?
It's good. Yeah, we're good. We secretly were married back in June, so it's been a minute now.
Okay.
I feel like it's been like 10 years at this point.
Hey,
sitting over there.
Hey, you're telling me, man, right?
No, it's good. It's good. We're back to normal. We're back in normal routine now.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you for hopping on with us. Again, this is probably, of all of the podcasts you've ever done, probably one of the more ridiculous ones.
Especially amongst ones that someone cornered you in a barbershop into doing. I would say this is one of the... Yes, Austin just happens to be there at the same time.
I was actually running the cash register, and I said, would you like to leave a tip? And he was like, sure. And then I was like, and then would you like to do a ridiculous NFL sports betting podcast? And he was like, I guess. I don't know.
So we'll give you $1,000, Austin, let you know, just bet across them. And then just pick one that's your lock. And that's the one where you can win double or lose triple. That tends to be the make or break.
Yes.
But we'll read all 6 bets. And then if you just... Generally, I zone out when Austin's reading his. And I remember one word, and I bet on that one word. Oh, yeah, so the charity. So we always play for charity. We're all people of means. I heard you guys apparently go get your hair cut by someone. I trim mine because it's gone. My haircut is putting on a bigger hat.
We pay to get our haircut, so we're all people of means here. So Kenny, because of that, what is the fake charity that you will be playing for today?
So I know this is an NFL podcast, but I wanted to go switch it to the MLB a little bit because I'm a big White Sox fan. So White Sox charities, there was a new one that they launched that I saw called Down Goes Anderson, and it's basically offering free boxing lessons and self-defense classes. All women, children, men in the Chicagoland area.
Can these be offered to Kansas City Royals first base coaches?
yeah. Dude, I was in college. I remember watching that game specifically in college at a bar, and it was probably the best night of my life.
I'm a Royals fan. I'm from Kansas City, and I remember watching that thinking, well, that father and son couldn't look more like they're from Kansas City. Like, are we sure the call isn't coming from inside the house? Because those are the redneckest Kansas City-looking people I've ever seen.
Well, coincidentally, they also look very similar to Southside Chicago people as well.
Sure.
Right.
Basically, what we're saying is they just really wanted to be on TV, and they got drunk.
All right.
Anything can happen at the Sox games. That's basically all we got. You go to see what happens in the stands versus the game.
Yeah, right. It could be a brawl. It could be someone shooting themselves.
Get shy. Who knows?
Yeah, they call it the cell, but it's named after an overnight prison that you go to for being a fan at the game.
Yeah, probably. Look, people like to say there weren't that many highlights from the Sox this season. I beg to differ. Anyone who can smuggle a gun in through the rolls of belly fat and then accidentally set that gun off during the game and shooting themselves I think that's the biggest highlight of Major League Baseball in the past 10 years.
That should be our national anthem. Should just be that sentence.
No one talked about it. I'm like, how is this national news that somebody got shot in the game?
That and the Mark Burley glove flip to first is like White Sox lore. That is the best. The two greatest plays of all time. It just made me wonder,
what do metal detectors do?
Oh my God.
We couldn't. If you can't detect through human fat, you cannot be an American-used metal detector.
It's unreal.
All right. Well, Kenny, this is great. I love that you're helping the self-defense in the South Side, and it's truly needed. And hopefully,
I want to give a quick shout out to my roommate in college's father, who still texts me after every White Sox Royals game. Who honestly I think might listen because he'll just text me, "Hate the Royals," because no matter what, the Royals will play the White Sox. I mean, I haven't seen the man in 17 years.
Yeah, right.
I'm
green bubbling over "Hate the Royals" about 8 times a year.
I feel like the White Sox play the Royals like 100 games a year.
Yeah, right. It's weird. It's like you're only supposed to play your division opponents like 17 times, but like MLB's like, just let the Sox and Royals play.
It feels like they play all. They're just like, you know what? If we just put them over there, they don't have to drive far.
Yeah.
And then one of us will knock the Twins out of the playoffs, and that'll be the season.
Right. All right, Kenny, we will go ahead and get to our bets. Yeah. Again, you have $1,000. Just one of them has to be your lock of the week. Double the winnings, triple the losses. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and get started off with your first
I'll
bet.
go first with here's my bets. I'm a huge Chiefs fan. I try and get a Chiefs bet in here every week. The Chiefs have had a whatever weird season. The most common thing about the Chiefs season this year is shots of guys on the sidelines disassociating after they mess up. And you'll just see a shot of Travis Kelce, and it's just the million-yard stare. And you're like, that guy might retire right now. He clearly is not here. Or you'll see a shot of Kadarius Toney, and he goes to sit down and he misses the bench or something. So I have this week. The Chiefs are playing the Raiders. Will the Chiefs win by more points than there are shots of players disassociating on the sidelines? Generally, this has been about 6-6.
This is close. That's actually very close, probably.
There are so many. I mean, we had a 40-second shot in a game they won of Patrick Mahomes looking like he just got fired.
Yeah, and there was the mouth reading this week of him. I forget what he was like. He's like, I effing just told him or whatever.
I've never seen like a player get mad at his own team, and then everyone else in the world be like, "It's about time." Normally,
yeah, right. Yeah, most of the time it's like, I can't believe that quarterback.
Why would he throw him under the bus like Brady?
Now we're like,
don't throw him under the bus. Now they're like, Patrick Mahomes should drive the bus over them. So that's my first bet. Will the Chiefs win by more points than there are shots of players? My second bet is Tommy DeVito. I'm obsessed with Tommy DeVito. I think every team in the NFL needs a third-string quarterback who's a cartoon version of their city. And so I'm obsessed with Tommy DeVito, the Giants quarterback, and his celebration like this. I don't know if you saw, he got in trouble or people got upset with him because he stiffed a pizza restaurant he was supposed to go appear at. It's the most Italian thing you've ever heard in your entire life. A guy from New Jersey stiffs a pizza restaurant, quarterback of the Giants.
Was that a true story?
It is a true story because he ended up going to the pizza restaurant, and I saw the actual most New Jersey headline of all time, which is Tommy DeVito makes unpaid appearance and holds baby at New Jersey pizza restaurant, drinks root beer. So that's like if you ask ChatGPT to be racist towards Mario.
Yeah, right. Do you think they just threw in the drinks root beer in there just for SEO purposes?
I looked it all up. This place apparently has a fancy root beer fountain, and every picture, there's a picture where they show the owner of the pizza restaurant and his baby, and it says his baby left. Like, yeah, we know what one the baby is. So I have a bet. Do the Giants score from outside the Cal zone, which is the 20-yard line? Do the Giants have any touchdowns from outside the red zone, Cal zone, which is outside the 20-yard line? Not field goals. Do the New York Giants playing the Eagles score any touchdowns from outside their Cal zone?
So the red zone is the 20-yard and in, and the Cal zone is outside.
Yeah, the Cal zone is like the 40-yard line folded in half. And then that makes it into the red zone. So anything inside the Cal zone, red zone. My last bet, Mason Rudolph is starting this week for the Steelers. I honestly, at this point, we three of us might be quarterbacks in the NFL.
Honestly,
it's so wild.
They're gonna like World War II. They're gonna have a draft, but just for common people to play quarterback in the NFL.
I'm gonna be flat-footed and be the backup for the Vikings. It's Christmas this weekend. Next Monday is Christmas. These are the Christmas slate of games. Rudolph is making his first start on the Christmas weekend game for the Steelers.
Nice.
It's lining up too perfectly. And in the middle of the Steelers game, the sun will set. Will Rudolph glow brighter in the first or second half of his game? Famously he glows off. His glow up is at night with his nose. Yeah. Will Mason Rudolph have more fantasy points, ESPN standard, in the first or second half of the Steelers game?
Okay.
Those are my bets. I always look at my timer when I start reading them, and it says that was like 8 minutes to read 3 bets, and I'm just like, what am I doing with my life?
I think so far I'm locked in on the Chiefs bet. I think now.
Okay. We'll let Austin give his, and the face we make during Austin's bets, that's the face I'm looking for on the Chiefs sidelines.
Yeah. You guys could honestly just log off right now, and I wouldn't even probably know until I lifted my head up from reading my bets.
Hard. Yeah. All right, Austin, let's hear this here.
No, this one I'm going fairly simple this week. Kenny is a Bears fan, so I wanted to get a Bears bet in here. Bears play the Cardinals, and this weekend they are wearing their 1936 throwbacks, okay? Yep. Obviously honoring that famed 1936 Bears team, a year in which they went 9-3, finished second in the NFL Western Division, and failed to make the playoffs. So, it's pretty fitting for them to honor a team that did not make the playoffs, I guess.
Wasn't that Flacco's first season?
It was. Yeah, he was actually the quarterback then. Back before the forward pass, I'm pretty sure, was invented.
I always make fun of how old athletes are who are my age.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. I think I'm older than Flacco, actually.
I know. I'm like, can you believe how old this guy is who's employed?
You're like, geez, old bones over there. And then you look at his age and you're like,
walking.
Oh, he was a freshman when I was a senior in college. Great. I'm gonna throw it back to, or the Bears are throwing it back to a time when they did not throw. So this week, simple. Does Justin Fields throw a pass for over or under 36.5 yards in honor of their 36 throwbacks?
So one pass over that?
Yeah, is his longest throw of the day over or under 36
correct?
yards?
Yes,
completed. Yes. Yeah, okay. You're right.
Because this guy throws the ball away 13 times a game, and I might do some trajectory Zapruder footage breakdown here.
Yeah, Justin Fields had 4 touchdown passes last week, but only 2 of them counted. So if his receivers could just catch footballs, especially when they're placed directly on their stomachs,
it's just nice to have something in common with everybody here.
Right. We're gonna have some fun with this one. The Rashard Mendenhall had a tweet this week. I don't know if you guys saw this. He said, and I quote, "Simply tired of being berated by people who aren't experts in D game. We just pretend like I'm the only athlete tired of fans talking trash. You upset over a single tweet. What about us? Like me or not, I'm great in football. This proves my point. You can't speak on ball alone." And then he proposed, instead of the Pro Bowl, there should be an all-white versus all-black football game. So this got the debate stirring on the internet this week. First of all, honestly, it's not hard to fill out one of those teams. The other team, however, it's extremely hard to fill out, especially at the cornerback position, considering the last white cornerback in the league was Jason Sehorn.
Was on that Bears 1936 team.
Yeah, he was on the Bears 1936 team. So this week, we get a Monday night football game between 2 11-win teams or higher for just the 6th time ever. I don't know if that's actually factually correct because I only partially heard that stat, but I just kind of filled in the rest. But it is something ridiculous. Like, there have not been that many 11-win teams squaring off on Monday Night Football. But this game features Lamar Jackson versus Brock Purdy, 2 MVP frontrunners who just so happen to be of different races.
Hold on, let me look that up. Let me fact check that real quick.
Yeah.
Yep, you are correct, Austin. You're correct.
Okay, confirmed. My question is, who throws for more yards, the white guy or the black guy? And just note that when you do bet on this one, you do have to answer it like that. I'm taking either the black guy or the white guy.
I'm glad I wrote down in my notes who was who. If someone found my notebook, they would be like, this guy has no idea what he's doing.
I'll take the black guy. I think Brock Purdy is going to do great this week. Pop culture bet of the week. Each week I do a pop culture bet, and the Cowboys are squaring off against the Dolphins. This, of course, takes everyone to the famed song, "Only Wanna Be With You." First originally recorded by Hootie and the Blowfish, in which Darius Rucker sings the line, "Sometimes you're crazy, and you wonder why. I'm such a baby, because the Dolphins make me cry." Now, originally people thought that was just, he's an emotional guy. He makes, he looks at a Lisa Frank poster, and it makes him weep. But no, he is a, he eventually pointed out that it is actually the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, that make him cry. Then years later, when the Pokemon movie came out, this song was covered by Post Malone, in which he changed the lyrics. "Sometimes you're crazy and you wonder why. I'm such a baby because the Cowboys make me cry," as Post Malone is a famed Cowboys fan. So the Hootie version of this song is 3 minutes and 49 seconds. The Post Malone version is 4 minutes and 1 second. So, the bet this week, do the Dolphins and or Cowboys rack up between 349 yards and 401 yards? All right, just for some context, the Dolphins have the number 1 offense. They average 414 yards. And the Cowboys have the number 6 offense. They average between 368 yards. However, but both these teams, I think they're 6th and 7th in team defense allowed. So if either team gets in between that number, you win the bet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
349 and 401.
Pokemon movie, Hootie and the Blowfish, yards per game. This is a simple one.
It's not my most ridiculous bet of the season. That's for sure.
All right, let me recap these real quick, and then Kenny will let you put your $1,000 down here. The Mason Rudolph bet, is he better in the first or second half? The Chiefs disassociating shots versus amount of points they win by. Tommy DeVito, do the Giants score from it? You know what? It has to be him, not Saquon run or something. Does Tommy DeVito score a touchdown passing or rushing?
And so no field goals, of course.
No field goals
either.
I mean, if he kicks it, sure. Outside the calzone red zone. Justin Fields pass over under 36.5 yards. Purdy or Lamar, more passing yards.
No. Kyle.
Black or white, better. All right, this is Austin's bet, the race war. And then the Dolphins or Cowboys land between the time of the Hootie and the Blowfish song and the Post Malone song if seconds and minutes did not exist.
All right,
I feel like I had a little stroke reading this.
I have a Hootie and the Blowfish T-shirt that says "Dolphins make me cry" that I wore to Smokeout this year. Actually,
what? Oh my gosh!
I probably should. I'll have to take that bet too somehow. That'll be it.
Okay.
Is that so? That's Dolphins or Cowboys. You don't have to.
If either team, like their total yards, finishes in between 349 and 401. If either team fits in that little range, you win the bet.
But it's got to land in between.
Yeah. Or you can say I'm going to say that neither team finishes inside, and take that as well.
I'm going to say, just because it's such a small window, I'm going to go $200 to down goes Anderson. Neither team lands in that window.
Okay.
I feel like it's too tight. It's a little too tight for me.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go. I think my lock has to be the Bears bet because I think Fields gonna hit more on something deep this week.
Okay.
I have both Fields and more in fantasy semifinals this week, so I need that.
Okay.
Dearly. So that has to be my lock.
Okay. How much you putting down?
Let's do 600 on that.
Wow. Okay. And that is your lock for Fields going over.
Yeah. And then I'm going to circle back on the Chiefs bet for the last 200. I think that there's going to be more looks on the sideline than points won by.
I mean, we could get one. Yeah. We could get one good just pan of the sideline at some point. That might just kill the over on that one.
Yeah.
They're not. The Chiefs just aren't putting up the points. I always.
Yeah.
I watch the Chiefs game and I think, will anyone have fun today? Because I've never seen a group of guys having less fun being pretty good.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're probably still they're probably gonna be in the Super Bowl most likely.
Yeah,
somehow.
right. Yeah, they're gonna end up with the 1 seed in the AFC somehow.
If they win the Super Bowl this year, I think that people will be so over them to such an incredible degree that I will be a villain.
Yeah.
I will become a massive villain. I will wear a headdress around everywhere. That's the size of villain I'm going to be. It's going to be because already people are kind of like, it's people just want to hate on them on the internet. On the internet, blah blah. But if they somehow pull it off this year, it's over for any goodwill.
Yeah.
But it would also be it'd be their most impressive win ever.
Oh yeah, this is would be like LeBron over the Warriors 3 games to 1 type of win.
Yeah.
I think Tony J.R. Smith is a decent relative comparison.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna end up. They're gonna pick up Mooney somehow, and then he's gonna have 300 yards.
They saw him drop that Hail Mary, and they're like, "Is this guy available?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Chiefs love a good receiver that can drop passes.
This guy laid on the ground and couldn't catch a ball that literally fell in his lap.
If that play will probably make it onto the Chiefs highlight tape at the end of the year when they win the Super Bowl. The little DVD at the end, it'll be Darnell Mooney dropping that. Yeah, and no one will say anything about it either. It'll be Kenny, before we let you go, I gotta ask. I could tell you didn't choose the all white or all black quarterback.
yeah.
Is that racist to not even put any money on that bet? I don't know. Racist against all races.
I was in a group text last night talking about that whole thing, and we were. Yeah. And I said, because Barstool guy put there was a good bid on there, and they actually fielded all white team versus an all black team, and I'm like, well, the all white team, like, the offense is great with McCaffrey and Cup. Yeah. I'm like, you can put up a lot of points, but there's no defense. But I said you might be able to outscore them and play no defense.
I think that if this game happened, the things Tyreek Hill would do, the inability to stop him, they would just a screen pass to him would be a touchdown every single play. Who's going to chase him down?
Well, we would have to have McCaffrey play both ways.
And our backup running back is also still McCaffrey.
Yeah, he just doesn't come off the field. We're like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, we'll run some water out to you, but you can't come off.
When that debate started popping up, Peyton Hillis was like checking his phone every 5 minutes. He's like, I know somebody wants to talk to me.
Peyton Hillis.
It's unbelievable.
Toby Gerhart is like licking his chops right now. Not his lips. He's actually licking chops somewhere at a steakhouse somewhere.
Is that not a country music singer?
That's right. Yeah. You can. He is I think he played Smokeout last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Like 12. This could be a pretty big win. You could almost be in first place here. This is got a big win going on for you this week. Great.
Well, Kenny, we want to thank you for your time, man. We appreciate it. Best of luck on your bets, and but more so on your now marriage. Roughly 6 months in now. Is Mari cool with you watching as much football on Sundays as possible? Because that's like always the big thing for like newlyweds is adjusting to that. How much sports you watch in your regular life?
It's good. It actually does work out well because we tie it into like the food that we're going to order on Sunday. So
okay. Yes.
It's not about watching football. It's about figuring out what we're going to eat all day. Kind of thing.
That's smart. Great. Honestly, that is the best way to get a wife on board because then she's looking forward to Sundays. Yeah. Well, Kenny, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
best of luck, and we'll hopefully you make it high up our leaderboard.
Great. All right, guys.
All right, another big shout out to Kenny. It is fun to talk to a White Sox fan. These are people who it's so funny to me that
I thought after the racial bet, I thought you were gonna say. It is fun to talk to a white guy.
That would have been fun to bring up. Sorry, Kenny, it's not a white people versus Native Americans one. We can't do sports socks relative conversations. All right, so I'm going to lay down my bets for everyone. Once again, you and I are head-to-head. It's 1,750 to 1,000 in my favor. I'm going across all six this week. I'm putting $150 on Mason Rudolph being better. He will shine bright at night. I think Rudolph, with his nose so bright, will put up more fantasy points at night. And then I'm doing the Chiefs are going to win by more. But I think it's going to be like 13 to 11. I think they're going to win by 13. I think they're going to have 11 sad faces.
Right.
I'm going Tommy DeVito does not score from outside the Cal zone. They're not really a big high-powered offense. Justin Fields pass over for 200. Purdy, I'm going to go white guy for 200. And then I'm going to go within the yardage range there. I think the Dolphins go over. I think the Cowboys are in the range, and I think the Cowboys win the game. The Dolphins just can score. They just score. It's the Chiefs offense from 2018. They just get 80 yards in 6 seconds sometimes.
Yeah.
And my lock, I'm going to put my lock on Purdy. And I'm doing this because I'm rooting for the 49ers in this game. Wildly. I do not like them, but I want the 1 seed. There's a chance if the 49ers and Cowboys win, the Chiefs are the 2 seed with the tiebreaker over the 1 seed.
I've kind of made it up in my head. The Chiefs are going to be the 1
To me, this
seed.
feels like
They're
a year they're the
somehow-
2 seed, and then the Ravens lose their first playoff game, so the Chiefs, it still goes through Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what they did the first year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's how it's going to play out. It's honestly, and that with the year of the Titans.
Yeah,
the
Chiefs were a 2
that was the
seed
year
that year.
I was gonna say, that was the year the Titans played at Arrowhead, and it was like the Titans had to go on the road because I think they were
2
the
seed, 4 seed, I think.
They were the 6th seed. They were the
Oh.
lowest seed that year. They were the wild card team.
Patriots,
And,
Bills beat out.
They beat the Patriots, and then they beat the Ravens, and then I was like, okay, now we got one more tough road test, and they couldn't get over that hump. That was fun. I wasn't there or anything. No, I was, but that was also, hey, you know what? Fun fact: it was that Sunday that Kyle, you texted me and said, hey, I'm going on Conan, and I'm doing stand up on Conan, and
which was the next day.
I was in a low, dark spot. I was sad after that game, and you texted me that you were going on Conan, and no joke, it was as if the Titans won the
that's
Super
nice.
Bowl.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I was really happy for you. That was super cool. So,
And who knew the Titans and the Chiefs would outlive Conan?
Did the Titans outlive Conan?
It's close. COVID seemed to make both of them hate being on television.
It's so true. Titans haven't been good since then.
All right, let's drop yours here.
I'm going $100 on the Chiefs win by more points. I'm going. I was gonna go yes on your Tommy DeVito bet outside the Calzone, but when you said it's just Tommy DeVito, I'm going no. I was thinking Saquon could break off a long run. But so I'm going to go no. $400. That is my Drew Lock of the week. I'm also going $100 on the second half for Mason Rudolph. I think he gets more fantasy points solely because I think the Steelers will be losing, and I think he will.
Oh yeah,
throw
the
for more
rationale
yardage.
Doesn't make it a fun Christmas bet, but I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and look, Rudolph's nose doesn't work until nighttime, right? It does no good during the
Who
day.
knows?
Folks?
Rudolph Lundgren. That's nothing. All right.
Oh dear.
Rein it in. Let's go.
The Bears. Also, can we talk about the names? Who named Santa's reindeer? Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vic. Those sound like nightclubs.
Yeah, I like that they're naming all of them, and he's like, Dasher, you dash, that's cool. Dancer, you dance, that's cool. And then it's like, Donner, you look like you'd eat other deer.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm taking $100 on yes. Justin Fields will throw a pass over 36.5 yards. I think he's only done that 4 or 5 times all season.
But they don't care. The Bears are like one of the weirdest spot teams I've ever seen. They're playing the Cardinals. These two
That's the
teams
thing.
have
I'm banking
17
on
picks in the first round next year.
I know. I'm banking on the Cardinals just being bad, which I almost made it a
first round pick off.
Yeah,
I almost did the exact same thing. I went through the exact same thing. So I was like, these will be 4 of the first 10 picks.
One of these weeks, you and I are going to randomly pick the same fake bet.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, which we almost did last week, I think. It's a good thing we texted each other before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going $200. This is probably going to get me canceled. I'm going to go $200 on the white guy. Only because I think that Lamar is going to run for more yardage to account for more of his team's total offense.
Yeah, why didn't you pick that as the bet instead, Austin?
Okay. I'm going $200 on the white guy. Also, you just happen to skip that bet too, didn't you?
No, I put
Am I the
$200.
only?
I locked in the white guy.
Oh, okay, all right. That's pretty racist. All right, well at least we're going down together.
It's a performance review, Austin. Who do you think's going to get the inherent good fortune from an owner?
And then I'm going yes. I'm going to take a chance in between the yardage. I'm going to say yes. They do fit in between.
It feels like a 50-50 shot.
401.
Isn't that crazy? 2-4.
Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is like they both average around that yardage per game. The only problem is both their defenses are very good. So I'm going to say yes, $100. I have 2 chances to get that bet. And I think that should be my full 1,000.
That's where that wraps us up. Well, thank you guys. Thanks again to Kenny. Thank you, everybody, for listening, doing lines. Go give us a rate, review, subscribe. Send us any bets. Hit us up. You still throw us a bet. Maybe we put it on the show. Let us know where you're doing. Follow at Korked Bets on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah, it's Korked with a K, like Kenny with a K, and like Kyle with a K.
Yep.
And like Austin
3
with
Ks. So if
Not
you remember
a
one
great
thing,
time to drop
remember
that
that the 3K podcast did the white versus black bet.
Damn it.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Good luck on your bets.